Hello, everyone. Welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Debbie, and today we're going to take an imaginary trip to the pond. All of our songs and stories and rhymes today will be about animals from the pond, like frogs and ducks and turtles. But before we get started, we're going to sing our hello song. Can you go ahead and sing along with me? It goes, hello, everybody. How are you? And we're going to say, how are you 3 times. I'm going to add some extra verses and we're going to add some hand movements. So just follow along with me. Are you ready? Here we go. Hello, everybody, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hello, everybody, and how are you? How are you today? Good job. We're going to add an extra verse. We're going to say, hello, everybody, and then we're going to say, can you clap your hands? And we're going to clap our hands, all right? Hello, everybody, can you clap your hands? Clap your hands, clap your hands. Hello, everybody, can you clap your hands? Can you clap your hands? Great, and now we're going to add pat your head. Can you guys do that? Yes, I know you can. So we're going to sing it again. Hello, everybody, can you pat your head? Pat your head, pat your head. Hello, everybody, can you pat your head? Can you pat your head? All right, and this is going to be the hardest one of all. We're going to roll our arms. But I know you guys can do it. Hello, everybody, can you roll your arms? Roll your arms, roll your arms. Hello, everybody, can you roll your arms? Can you roll your arms? Let's go faster. Good job, everyone. That was great. Our story time today is appropriate for children between the ages of 0 and 5 and their parents or caregivers. We are going to model our program today after the 5 early literacy practices of every child ready to read, which is read, write, talk, sing, and play. I'm going to start off with some tickle rhymes for babies, and I'm also going to give our adults some tips of things that they can do at home to incorporate those pre-reading practices at home with their children. All right, so let's start off with our baby rhyme. If we have any babies here, the adult is going to be a mouse, because when you go down to the pond, just over in the field is a baby mouse. And our little mouse is going to run along our baby. So you're going to make the mouse with your fingers and run it along the different parts of baby's body. For our toddlers and preschoolers who are attending today, you can make your own mouse and run it across your own body. So it goes like this. It's little mouse, running everywhere. We're going to run him up our arm, on my shoulder and in my hair. Jump to my tummy and run down my leg. And then we're going to catch our mouse and we're going to tuck him into bed. All right, are you ready to sing it? All right, we'll sing it twice. So the first time you can see how it goes, and then the second time you can sing along with me. Little mouse, running everywhere, on my shoulder and in my hair. Jump to my tummy, run down my leg. Gotcha! Little mouse, it's time for bed. Good night, little mouse. Let's do it again now that you know how the song goes. Little mouse, running everywhere, on my shoulder and in my hair. Jump to my tummy, run down my leg. Gotcha! Little mouse, it's time for bed. Good night, little mouse. Good job, everyone. That was great. We have a rhyme here that is going to be for our toddlers, but everybody can go ahead and count along with us. It is a counting rhyme. So I have at my pond a log in the water, and this blue is going to be our water of our pond. And on my log, I have 5 timid turtles. Oh, you don't know what timid is? Timid means they frighten easily. So that's a new vocabulary word for you, timid. So our turtles are very timid because if you ever go to the pond, you notice that the smallest little sounds make the turtles jump in the water. So we have 5. Count them with me as I put them on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to count them one more time. Count them as I touch them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is how our rhyme goes. 5 timid turtles, as quiet as can be. Shh. Uh-oh. Quack! 1 jumped in the water. How many do you see? Oh no, the duck scared one away. How many turtles do we have left? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say our rhyme again because now there's only 4 turtles. 4 timid turtles, as quiet as can be. Shh. Ribbit. 1 slips in the water. How many do you see? Oh no, our frog scared one away. Let's see how many turtles are left. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to say our rhyme again with 3 turtles. 3 timid turtles, as quiet as can be. Splash, splash, splish, splash. 1 slipped in the water. How many do you see? Oh no, our fish scared one away. How many are left? Let's count them together. 1, 2. 2 timid turtles, as quiet as can be. Oh, shh, they're very quiet. Zing! 1 slips in the water. How many do you see? We only have 1 turtle left. Let's be very quiet and see if we can say hello to our turtle. Uh-oh. No, we're too noisy. He slipped away and there's no turtles left. 5 little turtles swim out of sight. 5 little turtles go home for the night. Good night, little turtles. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for counting along with me. I have a tip for our adults and caregivers. As you go through and you're counting with your little ones, be sure to count each object and touch it as you count it. Toddlers very easily can memorize the numbers 1 through 5. But when you touch each object as you count them, they will recognize that there's 1 object for 1 number. 1, 2. A lot of times our toddlers will start to count and they will do this. Let's put my 5 turtles back up. They'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we want them to recognize that there's only 1 number for each turtle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's called one-to-one correspondence, and it's a skill that they will need before they start to kindergarten. So it's a good time to start practicing that with your toddlers when they're very young. The next thing that I have for you guys is I have a story. This story is for all ages, and it is an adaptation of The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen. And I have several little flannel pieces that I'm going to put up here for you today. So our story starts off with a duck. Do you know what sound the duck makes? Yeah, you do. He goes quack, quack. And Duck made a nest. And then she laid 5 eggs inside her nest. Let's count them as I put them in the nest. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 eggs in the nest. And then Duck sat on them to keep them warm. She sat on the eggs for many days. And then one day, the eggs began to crack open. So we're going to remove our duck here. And out of each one popped a fuzzy yellow duckling. 1, and then 2, and then 3, and before. There was one egg left that had not hatched. But it wasn't long before that egg hatched too, and out popped a large brownish gray duckling. Now, Mother Duck thought he looked a little different from her other ducklings, but she loved him anyway. Mama Duck loved all of her babies. Now, it wasn't long before Mama Duck decided to take her ducklings on a walk to meet all the other ducks in the neighborhood. And so they all lined up behind Mama Duck to take a walk. They don't need the nest no longer. When they got to where the other ducklings were, the other ducks thought that the 4 yellow fuzzy ducklings were very beautiful indeed. But the 5th one was big and awkward, and he was ugly, and they called him names, and they weren't very kind to him at all. And when Mama Duck sent all the ducklings off to go play with the other ducklings, none of them wanted to play with the ugly duckling. He was very sad, and he went off alone, and he hid under a bush. "It's because I'm so ugly," he said, and he decided to run away, and he did. It began to get dark. He had walked for a long ways when he came to a barn. Now, our little duckling was very tired and very hungry, and so he went up to the barn and he peeked inside, and there was nice soft hay to sleep in and plenty of grain to eat, so he decided to stay there for the night. But the cat and the hen who lived in the barn were not very nice to our little duckling. The cat called him ugly, and the hen pecked at him all night long. The next morning, when the little duckling awoke, he decided to go for a swim in a nearby pond, and he did. But the other ducks on the pond did not want to play with him at all. So he found a spot in the far corner of the pond where he just kept to himself. The days went by, and soon the leaves began to change color, and they began to fall from the trees. It was now autumn, and our little duckling was all alone. Autumn made way for winter, and the leaves were replaced with snowflakes that began to fall down, and our little duckling was very cold. It was a difficult winter for our little duckling. And then, as always happens, the birds began to sing, the frogs began to croak, and the flowers bloomed. And our little duckling, who had grown bigger now, decided to fly away and find a new home. And he did. He flew for a long time when he came to a very large lake. And on that lake were 3 beautiful swans. And he thought to himself, oh, if I was as pretty as those swans, then everyone would want to play with me, and they would come and say hello. Well, because he was tired and he had flown for a long way, he decided to land on the lake. And as soon as he landed, the 3 swans came over to say hello. Now, our little duckling was very surprised that anyone would want to come say hello to anyone as ugly as he was. And then he looked down into the water. He had grown. He was no longer an ugly duckling, but a beautiful swan. And all the swans came to say hello and welcome him to the lake. And on the edge of the lake were 3 children playing. And they looked up and saw the swans and said, "Look at the beautiful swans." And one little girl said, "And the one who came last is the best of all." And it was a very good day for our ugly duckling, and they gave him some treats. And that's our story of the ugly duckling, which just goes to tell us that we shouldn't judge others by their appearance, that everyone is important in their very own way. So thank you for listening. we're going to sing one more song to close out our story time. And we're going to bring back some of our animals from the pond. So we're going to have our duck, and we're going to have our frog, and our fish, and our dragonfly. And so this is a repetitive song to the tune of Frere Jacques. So if you want to sing along with me, you can just sing the verse after I sing it. I'll sing the phrase first, and then you can sing after me. So we're going to start off with our duck. And, we talked about things that we see at the pond, but sometimes if we're very quiet, we can hear things at the pond too. So this song is about hearing our animals. So what sound does our duck make? He goes quack, doesn't he? So at the pond, quack, 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 I can hear the ducks, and that's how they talk. They quack. I can hear the ducks talk, quack, quack, quack. And then we'll add some extra verses, and I'll tell you how the sounds that we'll make for each of those. So let's sing our first verse, and it goes like this. At the pond, quack, 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 quack. I can hear the ducks talk, I can hear the ducks talk, quack, 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 quack. So you pretended you were a duck and you were quacking along with me. So we're going to pretend now that we're a frog. And frogs jump and they have really big mouths. So when they make their sound, you know what sound they make? That's right. They go ribbit or they go croak. But we're going to sing for our sound. We're going to sing ribbit, okay? And you can open up your hands real big like he's ribbiting. So he's at the pond, and our frog is singing. So I can hear the frogs sing is what we're going to sing. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. At the pond, ribbit, 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 ribbit. I can hear the frog sing, I can hear the frog sing, ribbit, 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 ribbit. That was a great job. All right, now we're going to do our fish. Now, have you ever heard of fish? Well, sometimes when the fish are playing, so our fish is going to be playing, they will jump out of the water and then they make a splish, splash sound. So our sound for our fish is going to be splish, splish, splash. All right, you ready to sing along with me? At the pond, splish, splish, splash, splish, splish, splash. I can hear the fish play, I can hear the fish play, splish, splish, splash, splish, splish, splash. And we have one more, we have our dragonfly. And if you listen carefully for a dragonfly, you'll hear his little wings go zing, zing, zing. So you can pretend you're a dragonfly and just do your finger back and forth, zing, 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 as we sing along. All right, here we go. At the pond, zing, 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 zing. I can hear the dragonflies, I can hear the dragonflies, zing, 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 zing. Great job! I had fun visiting the pond today, and I hope that you did too. And I have some books that I would like to share with you. Books that you can check out from the library about ponds and animals that live in the pond. The first one I have is In the Small, Small Pond by Denise Fleming. This is great for our young toddlers, and you can act out and play pretend just like we did with our little song. And for a tip for our adults and our caregivers today is that whenever you play pretend with children, they're actually learning literacy skills because they're learning to tell a story and they're putting in sequence of events. And when children are able to recognize a sequence of events when they're reading a story, it helps them to better understand what they're reading. So this is a great book that they can pretend that they're the different animals at the pond. This one is Five Little Ducks, also by Denise Fleming. This is a fun story to sing along together. And it's to the traditional song that I'm sure you guys have heard before, the Five Little Ducks. This is one of my favorite. This is a silly story about a fox who wants dinner and pretends to be a duck. But Mama Duck is very, very smart. And this is a very clever book. It has a repeating phrase in it, which is do like a duck does. Whenever you read stories that have repeating phrases, that makes your child very comfortable with listening to the story because they can predict what's going to happen next, and then they will listen to the story. Repeating phrases are great choices whenever you're choosing books for literacy purposes. And for a Spanish version, we have Salta, Ranita, Salta in Spanish. This is Jump, Frog, Jump. It's a cumulative story which also uses repetitive phrases and adds one more element in each part of the story, which is a great book for learning literacy also. This one I recommend for our older children, our preschoolers, On Duck Pond by Jane Yolen. It's a story about a young boy who goes to the pond and he sees all the wildlife at the pond. It has beautiful illustrations. And last but not least, I always like to recommend a nonfiction for our preschool readers. And this one is Fabulous Frogs by Martin Jenkins, because what kid doesn't want to know about frogs? And this one tells you all about frogs, and it's written in simple enough language that it's a great read aloud also for you to share with your child. Again, I want to thank you guys for joining me for story time today. We're going to sing our goodbye song, and our goodbye song is just like our hello song, except we're going to sing goodbye. The first time we're going to count to 5 on our fingers, and then the second time we're going to sing It's Time to Go. Goodbye, everybody. Can you count to 5? Count to 5. Count to 5. Goodbye, everybody. Can you count to 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now it's time to go. Goodbye, everybody. It's time to go. Time to go. Time to go. Goodbye, everybody. It's time to go. I'm so glad you came. Thank you, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first to find out when we have new fun and informative videos for you. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.